Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bottom Finder's Daily Market Report. This report is an analysis of our data as of the close on Monday, April 13th, 2026. As a quick reminder, the content provided is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, financial advice, trading advice, or any other type of advice. All investments involve risk, including the possible loss of principal. You should conduct your own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. All right. So let's start with the supply and demand analysis by sector. Keep in mind that the green is demand and red is supply. Here we show the supply and demand trends for each sector for the past 2 weeks. If you are looking to find a bottom, the ideal scenario is to find a market where the supply is high and the demand is low, which indicates the possibility of a bottom and the potential of a reversal. Looking at the charts, you have essentially the two sectors that the demand seems to outpace the supply are your basic materials and energy. These are the two sectors that are flying high at the moment, where sector energy seems to potentially be looking at a possible turning up in terms of supply and pointing slightly downwards on the demand, which indicates the possibility of a start of a sell-off of some sorts. However, the 5 other sectors that are interesting is consumer discretionary, staples, finance, real estate, and technology. Their supply seems to be waning, which means that someone is buying. The demand is not increasing, which tells me that there is the potential that it's being done quietly. So at some point, there's accumulation is happening and there may be the start of a distribution. So look for areas that is in consolidation of some sorts, and set up your signals at bottom finders so that you could be alerted when certain stocks within those sectors are reaching a bottom. The other 4 sectors that are of interest are healthcare, industrial, telecommunication, and utilities. There seems to be some sort of a consolidation there. Those sectors are looking for direction, but for the moment, the supply and the demand are just hugging each other. Industry seems to be moving apart from each other, so you may want to keep an eye on this one because the demand is slightly increasing and the supply is decreasing. So this is an indication that there could be inflows there. So definitely, again, set up your signals and look for opportunities within those sectors. All right, moving on to the industry flow. Stats, this shows you the difference in demand from the last trading day to the average performance over the past 2 weeks. The data shows you the areas within the sector, which is obviously the industry, that are either experiencing inflows or outflows. For this data, we only show industries that experience a difference of 2 or more. To explain, we have here the previous 2 weeks, the demand, supply, net vol, and unbalanced volume for the last 2 weeks. And then we have the same metrics for the last trading day, which in this case would be Monday, yesterday. And then we have the difference between these two to show whether we have an increase or a decrease, basically an inflow or an outflow. So looking at this chart for basic materials, we do have a little bit of an inflow on the forest products. Nothing to trumpet about, but definitely something worth keeping an eye on. Moving down to consumer discretionary, There's quite a bit of green, considering that it is a large sector with upwards of 50 plus industries. But looking at this data, some things that are worth noting would be the auto and home supply stores and auto parts stores. So they're experiencing their supply has gone down 11 points and the net vol has increased. Demand has not increased, so someone appears to be working quietly. Something worth keeping an eye on. Automotive aftermarket is similar. We do have an uptick in demand for home building. We have outflows for the manufacturing industries within consumer discretionary. So there is definitely a decrease in demand there. And then we have in the rental and leasing companies for things like Hertz and Alamo and Avis car rentals, they are experiencing an increase in demand. So that's what we call inflows. Moving on to consumer staples, we have an increase in the retail drugstores. So there's definitely something going on there, something to keep an eye on. For energy, coal mining is experiencing an outflow. And the rest of the other stuff sort of is going sideways, nothing worth noting there. Finance, we do have an increase in the finance companies in demand. That's inflows. It seems somewhat significant. There is a jump in 5 points on demand, and then there is a decrease of 10 points in supply and an increase of 28 points in net vol. So someone is buying this. So keep an eye on this. Someone is stockpiling. And look for opportunities there. Healthcare, demand is pretty straightforward. We do have an increase in miscellaneous health and biotechnology services and other pharmaceuticals. There is a jump in the inflows, so something is going on there as well. Industrials, we have agricultural chemicals and aluminum. Those are experiencing outflows, along with precious metals. In terms of some of the other activities, electronic products within industrials are experiencing inflows. We do have fluid controls are experiencing inflows as well. That one does have a little bit of a jump on the net volume. Also the OBV as well, so it's being distributed. So there is buying activity there. You may want to look for opportunities that are sitting at the bottom. Plastic products has experienced an inflow, an increase in demand, and so has the telecommunication equipment within industries. So moving down to real estate, we are experiencing outflows in consumer services. And in technology, there is activity in the consumer electronics, electrical products, and electrical components. A little bit of a bump in demand for the electrical products. You could see that supply has gone down and net vol has picked up a little bit, and so is the OBV. Telecommunication, it's the computer communication equipment has picked up. Also in utilities, we have the oil, gas, transmission. Nothing really worth trumpeting about. Net vol has gone down, but overall it seems to be going sideways. All right, and moving on to the signals by sectors for the last 7 days. Bottom Finders offers a state-of-the-art technology where you can set up signals similar to alerts to let you know of newly discovered bottoms, and this is what you're looking at here. So in the last 7 days, effectively in the last 5 trading days, we've experienced 11 discretionary bottom signals. So there were 11 stocks that were alerting that they could be at or near the bottom. Similarly, for finance, we've gotten 10 signals, and for technology as well. So these sectors, going back to our supply and demand analysis, they are potentially picking up activity and something worth looking at. All right. So this concludes today's market report. Also, be sure to like us and subscribe to receive our daily market report. Bottom Finders is excited to welcome you. Come experience our powerful technology free of charge, no strings attached. Just head over to Bottom Finder's website, click login, and sign up for your free trial, no credit card required. We can't wait to see you a part of our community. Thank you and have a nice day.